My name is AMADOU JALLOW. I'm living in Banjul. I am at or studying or reading international relations and diplomacy. Others call it as international relations and politics at Stratford College of Management. On my final semester, this I can say July to December.
Wow.
And I have been in Banjul, I can say since 2012 when I came there to do my senior secondary. And I can say since I have been in Banjul. Of course, it's a very interesting city, one of the most, I can say, interesting cities in West Africa. Based on the social activities, the political systems, and then when it comes to the people itself of Banjul, being very, very friendly, being people who are very accommodative, I can say, and of course, enjoying my life there. I have worked with so many other civil society organizations in the Gambia. I can say I have been in the activism realm and advocacy. I have worked with so many organizations, and I can say also when it comes to the political realm, of recent, I am in the circle, I can say, working with so many individuals who are, of course, stakeholders. As far as Banjul is concerned. So I can say these are some of the things that I usually do. I don't want to go very much.
I know, to prolong the introduction. Wonderful, wonderful. And like I said initially, our topic today is going to be Banjul. We talk about Banjul and the youths of Banjul. As we can say, he's a young man and he has been in Banjul, I can say, all his life. And he knows a lot in Banjul. That's why we invite him today to talk about our capital, my capital, his capital, your capital. So, Mr. Jallow, when we mention the name Banjul, what comes to your mind?
When we mention the name Banjul, so many things comes to my mind.
Okay.
And one of the most unique thing is community.
Wow.
A unique community with a unique people with dynamic mindsets.
Absolutely.
This is what actually come into my mind when you mention Banjul.
Good. When we talk about what is a dynamic mindset, okay, we know that Banjul is the capital, but it's one of the smallest cities in the Gambia, as long as the Gambia is concerned.
Yeah.
So the dynamism, can you explain something about the dynamism of Banjul?
One of the dynamism I can say, if I am to put it in an example, is only in a Banjul that you will find a director at the VU. That is one of the dynamism that you will see in Banjul. VU is something that is very unique within Banjul as a society, given that actually it's one of the ways that they are able to intermingle and socialize within themselves as a city. And it has been adopted at a very early age of within the society or the people, and actually it's very difficult for you to take that away from them.
Absolutely.
So no matter whatever portfolio you hold in Banjul, you still go to the VU.
Go to the VU, yeah.
No matter how young you are, you have a VU. So actually, this is something that is very unique within the society of Banjul. Of course, I can say many things have been taught within this VU, and many things are learned in this VU, especially when it comes to the interaction between the elderlies and then the young ones within these VUs. Actually, I may say it was a platform, or I can say it's a platform whereby the elderly is able to do what we call intergenerational dialogue. That is, they are able to communicate their experience and wisdoms to the young ones. And they are able to also do a culture to share the social norms and the social ethics of the community itself between them and then the younger generation within this platform.
Awesome.
If you look at their setting as well, how they sit, how they talk, how they discuss with each other within this I can say it is always educative and interactive enough.
Absolutely. This is one of the reasons why, if you are born and raised in Banjul, you have this pride that, I am a Banjulian. So, they have a different mentality, the way they think. That's why even people like you, there are certain people in Banjul, even if you give them a mansion in the compost, they prefer staying in their small compounds in Banjul.
Sure.
So I believe these are some of the characteristics that are, leading them to, because of the way they socialize. I mean, it's really amazing. Judging from your experience, I mean, you have been in Banjul for a very long time. During the past 10 years up to date, how do you see Banjul? Is there any changes when it comes to development, when it comes to, the societal notion, when it comes to politics, when it comes to socialization? We know Banjul, for example, if you are from Primate, like anything that happens in Primate affects everybody in Primate. Is it still the same old system? Are there any changes, judging from the past 10 years?
Based on, I can say, what I have observed within this period that I have been in Banjul, I will say, of course, there are both positive and negative change, which is inevitable in every society. But I will say there are a lot of things that have improved, but a lot of things also have changed. Per se, some of the things that how it used to be, for example, even these sense of views are decreasing. Okay. And then with the new generation, like of my generation, yeah. So the way we interact now, and some of the activities that were there, and so many things are missing now. Wow. For example, like Banjul Demba, and so many things that was, of course, very important. It makes the city lively. Not only the hunting and then the other part of the cultural
masquerade.
Masquerades that usually is so much entertaining, and it's also give value, and it give an identity to the city. So, but I would say there are so many things or so many areas that, of course, changes and transitions are happening. What are these transitions? Sometimes now, some of these transitions, I can say the factors are cross-cutting. Sometimes they come from different dimensions. Some of them have to deal with the social factors. Some of them actually environmental factors, because we can remember last year, August, there was a fast flood that occurred in Banjul.
Exactly.
And it also contributed to the reduction of the number of people that are living within the city, because some people felt like maybe the city is no more safer for them and the like.
Absolutely.
Of course, there are so many development also that are taking place, considering the infrastructural development. For example, I would not say that we will not flood this year, but of course, I can say there are some improvements that have been done, and we are hoping that everything goes well.
And it wouldn't be as worse as it was
last
year.
And when you look at also the face of Banjul, there are some changes that are happening. Though it's very slow, but of course there are so many things that are happening. For example, in the political realm also, there are so many transitions that are taking place. For example, looking at having the youngest parliamentarian coming from Banjul. And so all these things also are changes, of course. They're very slow, but of course there are so many changes
they are
that
coming
are taking
gradually.
place. Gradually.
There is a trajectory of change that is yet to gain momentum, but we believe in the near future.
So when you look at also the as I said, but still at the face of Banjul, there are civil society organizations also that are, of course, transcendent from only the advocacy but also implementations of some projects. For example, like when you go around Banjul now, you can see trees around. Trees.
Yeah.
They are, planting a lot of trees. Of course, I am part of the organization called Doc Banjul, Development-Oriented Citizens of Banjul.
Wow.
So it's not like one old woman. When we say Doc Banjul, we say Alo Lendi Doc. We are not talking about the Doc of Wolof, but Doc in English.
It's an abbreviation.
Exactly. It's an abbreviation of Development-Oriented Citizens of Banjul.
Wonderful. So, Mr. Jallow, being a Banjulian for a very long time, what are some of the major challenges that the youths of Banjul are faced with today?
I would say maybe I will not be able to mention all the challenges, but maybe based on my work and then my interaction with the people of Banjul, I will be able to look at some areas that which I can say they are of course hindering the development of I can say the general public and the residents of Banjul, especially when it comes to the side of the youth, because for me, I'm very much focused most of my programs and interactions only focus on at the youth perspective. Of course, we have intergenerational activities, but I'm much more focused on the youth activities.
Awesome.
I can say a lot of things that are missing in Banjul. For example, when we look at our entertainment industry, it's not very much vibrant.
Wow.
And this I can say need to be revived in a sense, so that young people within the city who are of course focused also in the entertainment industry should be able to realize their potentials, where people like the artists, the actors, the actresses that have to deal with the creative industry as well. Some of these things also need to be, I can say, they are hindrance due to lack of facilities that are of course going to help them. For example, standard studios, having a bigger area like entertainment place where you can accommodate a lot of people and they can be able to tap into the market of Banjul, that they can be able to develop gradually and get to another stage.
Awesome.
So when it comes to also the educational sector, which I also have I can say some experience in, because I and my partner who was supposed to be here today, Suleiman Jai, Sol Selim Jai, I can say we have been in one school in Banjul in teaching, and also we conduct some other extra classes for some of the students in Banjul. I can say the children of Banjul also, I can say right now, we are finding it difficult in order to find avenues and ways actually in order to revitalize the educational culture that was well known, or Banjul that was well known of. If you look at Banjul and most of the intellectuals that have in fact pioneered the independence of this country, and also even institutionalization of our national, I can say, national activities and also transition from the colonial era and the like. Most of these things happen in Banjul. And most of the schools and education, like the conventional education, was used to take place in Banjul.
Awesome.
Yeah, but some of these things actually are now declining. For example, if you look at the schools that are currently in Banjul, actually, I can say we are seeing much transition, especially at the lower level. For example, junior schools. You understand, and then primary and the like. That I can say the factors is cross-cutting at that area also. Some have to deal with economic. For example, because looking at the population of Banjul now, at that time you have 75-85% of Banjul residents who are of course indigenous. But now the opposite is happening. Like others are coming in. Like the indigenous are moving out because most of the people there who have their, I can say, family compounds usually sell it, and then the industrialization of Banjul also is also another hindrance.
Yeah, another contributing
because
factor.
it is an uncoordinated industrialized or development. For example, the construction of stores is contributing to the reduction of the population of Banjul, and this is affecting the economic sector, especially when it comes to the market of Banjul, because population is what makes markets to be viable, to do well.
Absolutely.
So some of these things, I will say, they are also
some of the challenges that they are faced with,
especially for the people who are involved in the business sector. So they are facing some of these, I can say, problems.
Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing. And the youth of Banjul, in as much as we've seen, at the initial stage, you've mentioned the greatness of WURRY, like whether you are a minister, you are a director, you will definitely sit, at the WURRY and talk to people, and there are a lot of educative, discussions that usually happen. At the same time, also we have seen WURRY that boys will sit there, like the likes of Jim Senegal, Fitzgerald. We have seen boys there. The only thing they do is smoke, fight, insult one another. Banjul was not like that in olden days. So now, what is the problem? Why are you, to be honest, yes, there were criminals. You cannot say Banjul was never, there were no criminals in Banjul, yes. But, it was not as rampant as it is nowadays. So, what do you think that is, compelling the youth of Banjul to be, smokers, and for that matter, happy smokers, to sit on the votes, they don't care about education, they don't care about their lives, all they do is smoke, fight. What is the problem behind this?
Yeah, I will first of all start by saying there are certain notions actually that are due to, I would say, the acculturation. Acculturation is taking place within Banjul, whereas it is an uncoordinated one, unfortunately, and the factors actually are there and they are imminent, but of course maybe our attention have not been drawn to that yet. Considering what you've mentioned, I can say in every society we have black sheep. For example, in every every society we have some black ones, of course, who are different from actually the way we operate, and maybe based on our own rationality. I will say there are genuine, hardworking, committed young people in Banjul, despite the fact that we have a lot of things that are, of course, distracting them. Due to lack of facilities, as I said, like that sense of coordinated development, which is, of course, bent on issues that are, of course, going to be productive to the society. This could be able to help these individuals not to have enough time, or it will put them in a pressure whereby they will not have enough time to think about to go and sit and smoke. Anytime you close from work is to come and interact with your friends, and then you go back to sleep. Or sometimes maybe you will not even have time to even sit outside. And the only thing that is going to put this into reality is when we are able to bring in initiatives that are, of course, going to keep these young people occupied so much that they will not have enough time to think about other things that are, of course, not productive and relevant. in their life. Of course, I can say the culture, that culture of the VU, where we are there to socialize, we are there to communicate, we are there to at least be able to exchange ideas, be able to send in an information that I have to deal with your development as a young person, and being an adult to be having that respect. Of course, that culture itself is broken a little bit. Given that there are a lot of people now who are sitting at the VU are of my age, and then of course the elderlies, and due to copying of other cultures that are, of course, intruding into the realities that is happening. It's also one of the other thing. And the other thing is that those people who are handling the social fabrics, actually the social fabrics of the society and the community of Banjul, because anytime somebody comes from Banjul, by then this individual came on speaking land. And what brought about that speaking? It's about there were people who has or understood the social fabrics, and they were able to make sure that they took it upon themselves as responsibility, as responsible individuals who are able to make sure this culture is not, or the chain of this culture is not being damaged. But I can say, as it stands now, there are a lot of things that are happening is as a result of maybe lack of committed people who are able to actually put these or take this as a responsibility in order to revive and bring that social culture and social norm, whereas the VU is used in order to communicate and then to be able to nurture and mold the younger ones and share wisdom with them into a place where we are just there to entertain ourselves, have our music, drink our water, and enjoy ourselves. So these also have contributed into some of the reasons why I can say within the society, of course, majority of the young people now is very difficult for you to know exactly whether these individuals have a coordinated, I can say, future for the city.
Wonderful. You mentioned two important factors, and one is the blind imitation, like incorporating another culture that is not from Banjul. Like Banjulians have never been reluctant. Banjulians are hardworking people, especially the young ones. You know, because that is why we have this. I mean, this interaction with the elderly ones. So Banjul youths are known to be very intelligent youths, but nowadays, like, that intelligence is even decreasing. And you've mentioned another factor that you believe that can be a remedy to remedize the situation, which is having the youths extremely engaged. So if they are working, when they close from work, and they can just come home, interact with people a little bit, and then go to bed. Or sometimes they might not even have the time to interact. So what are the actual mechanisms that you believe that can be used in order to make sure that this extreme engagement can be implemented?
Yes, I would say some of these remedies can be or cannot be achieved, or government cannot be able to do it, but we should be also at our own individual level. And I mean, I'm talking about Banjulians who have successfully been able to thrive through different sectors around or in the world. Right. And these individuals, if they are able to come back and give some support in different dimensions, I believe maybe some of these things could be remedied. And some of those things have to be, for example, if we look at the fishing industry of Banjul, Banjul being an island, I mean, I don't have to suffer to get fish.
Absolutely.
So I believe there are Gambians who are, of course, Banjulians who have at least in either one way or the other, despite it is through their own effort that they are able to make what they have. So it's not compulsory upon them in order to come and give back. But giving back, it's also going to make a lot of difference for the people, especially living in Banjul currently. And if we are not able to also coordinate the upbringing and the social setting of our communities, we will always end in a very bad product that is going to be a bad society. That is why I am urging those Gambians and Banjulians who are, of course, able to, and they have the capacity, they have the economy, they have the know-how in order to come and tap, for example, in the fishing industry. There's maybe provision of fishing vessels with proper mechanisms. And engage these young people, they can be able to earn a living, and they will be able to have something to be proud of. And usually, there is a common services. An idle mind is the devil's home.
It's the devil's zone, yeah.
So I will say, if we have Gambians who can be able to come at least, even if it is not the government, but at their own level, looking at these individuals who are, of course, in the street, and if they are not properly being taken care of, can end up destroying either the life of my cousin, or the life of my brother, or the life of my sister, or the life of my uncle, or someone who is related to me. Then you can also build peace and tranquility in this society through establishing a fishing industry or a fishing investment that is going to engage some of these young people.
Absolutely.
And the engagement that could be done in Banjul is, I can say, is wide and large. So they can look at, based on their capacity and their willpower, at any of these areas that they are willing to tap into, but also looking for ways in order to bring some of these young people in order to make sure that they have something to do before they become those individuals who are having the idle mind, where the devil will always take them as a tool in order to disorganize, unite, and also, put the society in an unsecured manner.
And then looking at Banjul, Mr. Jallow, systematically, you believe that there are a lot of investment zones in Banjul.
Exactly.
There are a lot of works that need to be done in Banjul. Investors are not investing. That is why, youths are unable to get employment in order to make sure that, they have, like what you've said, they are engaged and they are able to put food on the table. Some of these youths, when you engage them and ask them what is the reason behind you smoking, and then being extremely reluctant, you are always sitting around the Johnson drinking ataya and smoking weed. What is it? Sometimes some of them will not even want to do so. They will say, just let it go. We are tired of explaining. There's no job opportunities. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you look at your mom, you look at your dad, you look at your sister, especially if you are the firstborn. It's always a problem. There is no platform or no opportunity for you to go and grab something to make sure that you put at least food on the table. It's really difficult. So what do you have to tell investors, or those who can invite investors, or what is the reason behind investors not coming to invest in Banjul?
So long I'm not in the investment industry, it's going to be very difficult for me to give any tangible, I can say, reason. But looking at it as a person who want to be invested on, I can be able to say that these are things that are, of course, we believe because of what we know the society that we live in, and we understand also some of these things that we are looking forward for the state or private individuals to look into. We know the areas, and we believe this could be lucrative and productive for the society. So, however, it is all about risk, and I find it difficult to discuss with some people, especially when they try to attempt to say, okay, if I put this thing here, it will be spoiled and the like. But I believe if other people can come into the Gambia, invest in these areas, and are able to make it, that even your own family members who are here will end up going to those people and buy. Why not you who live here?
Absolutely.
Why not you who live there?
That's the big question.
You have the opportunity. But I believe we must be also ready. We must be ready and willing to take risk.
Awesome.
we should be able to take risk for one another.
Yeah.
Given that we are all thriving in order to make sure that our society progress.
Yeah.
Maybe our view might be different. And sometimes the ambition, due to the exposure, sometimes knowledge, sometimes experience with other areas, you are able to see things beyond my view.
Yeah.
Right? But that does not also stop you from sharing your wisdom, with me. And you should not share your wisdom with me based on your own pace.
Yeah.
You should understand my pace.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, if you take, you are taking 5 students in the same classroom, right? And you are teaching all of these 5 students. And you are using the same pace in order to make all these 5 students to understand. Come on, it means you are not a teacher.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you must be able to understand that the understanding of these different 5 students
is different.
Is different.
Absolutely.
So you should be able to look for ways in order to find a way that those in slow pace of understanding are able to go with you, as well as those people who are in a fast pace will not feel boring, because they will understand before the other people. So our people of the country, of course, maybe, as I said, based on the exposure, it might be different. Based on you, to the extent that the extent of experience you have, your to the extent you travel, your understanding of and business, the experience you have in it, come on, it's different from most of these young people at that level. But we should be able to come up with a mechanism whereby these young people, no matter how low their understanding are, they are able to also understand certain things and be able to prioritize the issues that are, of course, going to be productive in their life. Because, I mean, the reality still remains that everyone on earth want to progress.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Everyone on earth want to progress. But maybe how we are able to progress and how do we plan ourselves, and that is the difference. But everyone wants to progress. Even those people at the lower level, or those people smoking, if you ask them, they start telling, okay, I don't have a job. Of course, that is not an excuse.
Yeah, to be honest.
That's not an excuse. Because no matter how difficult it is, my friend, when you use that, at the end of the day, you add more problems. Because you only forget about the problem when you are high. And you cannot be high forever.
That's it.
So when you are low, the problem comes back.
And you know, that even reminds me of, there's this Jamaican artist called Popcan. There is a song he sang which says high all day. I mean, most of these words you usually play when they are smoking. So they prefer being high all day, which is not the reality. Even Popcan himself is not high all day. Because he has planned for himself, he has his family, so on and so forth. So, but Mr. Jallow, you've mentioned something really, really important, which is the methodology. No, I mean, the pace of certain, because they said different levels bring different views. So the methodology should definitely be looked into, because you cannot say that, okay, Mr. Jallow is doing this, Pao should also do the same. I and Mr. Jallow have different mindset, different way of thinking, and also our pace, which is really important. I mean, pace is a primary factor here. Pace are different when it comes to education, when it comes to work, when it comes to job, even our the way we are physically built, our pace are different. That is a clear manifestation. So how do you think that the methodology should be looked into to make sure that it suits everybody?
I will say, first of all, the one who want to help, you must be able to extricate yourself from the life of the person that you want to help. Okay. If you want to help somebody, for example, if I'm just taking this as an example, it's not actually like as if it's a reality, but let me just take it this way. Okay, if I travel and go to Senegal, I've been to Dakar for 5 months. I came back to the Gambia. The business I was doing in Dakar was selling watches. Now, if I come back to Banjul, I say I want to sell or want to do the same business. Do I expect myself to make the same customers?
No.
At the same time?
No.
Why? The answer is Dakar. Dakar alone, you have over 1 million people living there. So the market available for me in Dakar is different from the Gambia.
Yeah.
So when I am from Europe, I want to invest in the Gambia.
Yeah.
I must be able to identify that the physical features is different. The people is different.
Yeah.
The social norms is different.
Yeah.
The social values are different. All these things must be factored.
Yeah.
And you, the investor, should be able to not try to think or try to build your support or investment like as if you are investing in America. It's different.
Yeah.
You should be able to understand that you are investing in the Gambia, not America. So at first, you, the person who want to support, you should be able to understand this.
Yeah.
One. Then commitment.
Yeah. Important factor.
Commitment. With high resilience. Because when you are investing in we know businessmen, of course, in business or in a capitalist economy, it's all about profit.
Profit, yeah.
Yeah. How fast can I get my money?
Money back, yeah.
And how much money will I be able to make within a certain period of time?
That's business.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I would say, okay, that's the reality. But while we are thinking in the sense of profit, we should also highlight and be able to understand that we are dealing with people from different dimensions and different realities. And of course, see this as not only investment, but a contribution.
A contribution towards the national development.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The view should be my contribution towards the development of my country. Not actually, okay, I am in my country to invest to make profit.
Profit, yeah.
No. Of course, that is essential. And everyone who is investing, profit is important.
Yeah.
But we should also be able to understand it, of course, or we take it this way, whereas it is to support the younger ones in order to change the dimension of this country. Because I believe there are young people who can do a lot of things in this country and do a lot of things for the country.
For the country, absolutely.
But all they need is the capital, the motivation that will always keep them going, but also coordination and support. Like in a sense whereby not only giving them the investment and leaving them like that, but share of knowledge. Where this factory or where you get this idea, let them always be able to see some of these things and be able to understand that, okay, that is the goal to achieve. Not only just to have 200 or 300 in my pocket. Like the contented young boys like myself, when I'm sitting at the pool, if I have $500, take mom chill dinner. So we have to also, as young people of this country, get rid of some of that mentality. Because Gambia anchored on Banjul. And the pace of Banjul is what determines the pace of the rest of the country.
Absolutely.
And Banjulians, especially young people of Banjul, must understand that they are ambassadors and they are exemplary to the whole country.
Absolutely.
Everyone look up to Banjulians. Even if somebody from Banjul come to even if they go to the community, the other part of the Gambia, they see that.
Absolutely.
They have that respect for you. So it is now your responsibility, and which is an opportunity that you can tap into in order to make sure that, come on, the country in fact develop through you.
Mr. Jallow, on a realistic point of view, if you were to rate the contribution of Banjul youths of Banjul towards the development of Banjul, what will be your actual percentage?
I think that would be a difficult one.
I definitely need answers, and I know you can.
That one it will be a difficult one. But I will say the youths of Banjul currently you are referring to, of course, I would say maybe around 35 out of 100.
That's
25%.
Yeah, honest, really bad.
Which is because if you go to the, I know there are so many young people of Banjul who are, of course, who are very dedicated, hardworking, as I tell you, very committed towards helping the city to develop. Come on, the Gambia itself cannot be able to pay these people. Based on the amount of efforts, the amount of commitment, the amount of time they are spending in order to make sure that Banjul look like a standard city. You cannot measure the amount of effort and then the ambition they have. But of course, you have majority, which is at the other side, which is what makes it imbalance.
Awesome. It's another thing.
Yes.
Interesting. To be honest, it's really interesting. And then youths of Banjul, those youths that are not participating should know that, I mean, participating is something that is not even, it's not something that you have to choose. You know, it's not optional. It's something that you need to do. If you are born in Banjul, or even if you are not born in Banjul, but if you are living in Banjul, if you are a Banjul resident, it is your responsibility that to make sure that all the other cities are looking up to Banjul. Like you said, if Gambia is a boss, Banjul is definitely the driver. Yes.
Sure.
So, another interesting question, Mr. Jallow. Honestly, on your in your own perspective, do you think Banjul is the type of capital the Gambia deserves?
That one is automatically no. That is automatically no. Come on. Banjul, since 1965, I would say, however, a lot of things have happened before I was born. Yeah. And when I was born and up to the time that I was able to at least experience Banjul directly, I will say, no, Banjul deserves better. Banjul deserves better. And that, or the responsibility of the failure of achieving that lies on all of us.
Absolutely.
Our soldiers. I mean, all of us who are living in Banjul. I'm not defecting the fact that there are people who are doing a lot of things. I'm not discrediting those people, or I'm not trying to belittle the effort they have made. Of course, it is recognized and it has been considered and it is part of the books that we will be remembered. But Banjul deserves a better city, or Gambia deserves a better city. Considering that if we look at the total landmark of Banjul, you go into the city, the way we are being talked about internationally, when you get into the city, you have nothing to explain.
Absolutely, to be honest, that's a very good point. You
have nothing to explain. You know, when it comes to certain areas, or when it comes to the truth, I'm a little bit brutal.
I know, and that is what I need, and that is what Gambians need to know.
I am a little bit brutal, but what I'm saying is like, Banjul deserves better. Banjul must have coordinated infrastructure, a well-coordinated and planned infrastructure. Banjul, as it stands, we have a population of around maybe close to 40,000. Maybe close to that. But I mean, Banjul can accommodate nothing less than 100,000. What is stopping us from having that?
Absolutely.
Poor planning. Poor planning. Banjul can have the most active markets throughout the Gambia. What is stopping us from that?
Poor planning.
Poor planning.
Absolutely.
Banjul can be the most beautiful city in West Africa. Given the landmark, what is stopping us from having that?
Proper planning.
Lack of proper planning. And this are some of the things that so long we did not start questioning ourselves about it, it will be difficult. But while questioning ourselves or questioning about that and who are responsible, let us not forget about what is my responsibility.
As an individual.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because development of a society, I believe it should be collective.
Yeah, it's a collective responsibility.
Because naturally, it should be collective. It is not about sectoral.
Yeah.
It's not about tribal.
Yeah.
It's not ethnic. It's not about group, but it's the holistic manner, which means everyone must be involved.
Yeah.
Everyone, I mean, the politicians, the businessmen, the philanthropists, the residents themselves, and then also making sure that the state itself look into these things. And I will appeal to those people who are, of course, the stakeholders as it stands. It is important that we always keep reminding them that the only pride of the Gambia is Banjul.
It's Banjul. Absolutely, without a doubt. Without a doubt, yeah.
If Banjul is ugly, when you have a stranger, where do you take that stranger?
To Banjul.
Banjul looking like a real city is something that is a dream for every Gambian. Not only Banjul, I'm talking about every Gambian.
Yeah.
Want to have a particular place that you will love. Anyone who have ever traveled and come to this country, so long that person haven't been to that place, it's as if that person haven't experienced the most beautiful things of the state.
Absolutely.
And that is only Banjul. And Banjul deserved all these things. And Banjul, I can say, deserve to be, as I said, the most beautiful city in West Africa, if not in the whole of Africa.
Absolutely. And it's not that huge. Banjul is not like very hard for people to change Banjul. But like what you said, it's a collective responsibility. And Gambians also should, especially those living around the Combos, should stop having this mentality that Banjul should be developed by Banjulians.
Exactly.
Banjul is the capital of the Gambia, not the capital of Banjulians. Yes, they are called Banjulians because they are the ones resident there. Yes, but we also have to participate because it is our capital. You cannot say I am living in the Combos, Birkama is my capital. No, Banjul is your capital. And there was a survey made around the diaspora. If you they will tell you that the number of Banjulians that are at the diaspora, they are uncountable.
Absolutely.
And then most of them are really doing well.
Absolutely.
But if you go to their houses in Banjul, if they tell that this guy belongs to this compound, or he or she originated from this compound, you tend to ask yourself, is this for real? What do you have to tell to those people? Are they so most of them are residing in Kanifing, some of them Burusubi, and if you go to their houses in Burusubi or Kanifing, if they don't tell you to sit down, you won't. And then what is wrong with repeating the same thing in Banjul, where you came from, where you originated from? And it's also not just going to be, you playing a role from your origin, but also you participate in the development of the country. What is stopping them from, playing a part on the development of Banjul?
I will say I would not be a great historian to be able to backtrack or so many things, but I believe based on some of the things and some of the people that I have interacted with, they might have some things that have to do with their I have to deal with social settings at the family level. Some of the stories that they will tell you, of course you won't say it's not genuine, but I believe we still can make a difference.
Absolutely.
We can still make a difference because this world, wherever you find yourself, there must be some upheavals that will always come. And I believe there are so many things that are, of course, even that have to go to the family level. Which I don't want to get into very much. But I believe also the ones who are steering the affairs of Banjul also must be able to create that platform.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
They must set. This time it's not about setting a platform. It's about taking exemplary initiative to tell them yes, still we can.
Absolutely.
weekend within Banjul. And those exemplaries have to deal with, come on, them taking action itself by, for example, investment or coming up with so many initiatives that have to deal with construction, better housing system.
Absolutely.
Better housing system could be established within Banjul. I mean, it's a small community.
Absolutely.
I mean, no matter what, how difficult it may be, come on, we will find a way out. We will find a way out of
Absolutely.
it. And these Banjulians, I would say, come on, there's no place like home.
Yeah.
You will never realize it until when you travel or move out for so long. And when you come back to that place, my friend, the type of memories.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The amount of memories that will kick from your brain, you will be able to know that come on, there is no place like
home. Absolutely.
Where you did your childhood, where you did your,
there are a lot of beautiful memories.
Exactly. At least be how will I call it? Like be little bit, be a bit selfish. In a sense. What do I mean by that selfishness? Try to hide certain stories for your children. They cannot be able to see it physically. But you tell them the story.
Absolutely.
And if the child asks you, Dad, how does come on? But for me, I cannot see it. It was through our effort. That's why you cannot see it. It's a beautiful explanation that you can give to your children, and that can come only after you have already impacted that society.
Absolutely.
And I think it is a story that we all love to tell our children. One day.
And I hope we will, inshallah.
Gambia was or to say, okay, Banjul was this and this and this. Okay, how was it? For example, sometimes when I was in Banjul, when they tell, hey, we used to take bath in the drainage system. I was like, what?
How is that possible?
How is that possible? Because of why? The reality is on the ground by that time, because the gutters was in a very bad shape. But at least a little bit improvement is been done in that area. So for now, if you tell that story, I can be able to believe it. But with some of those more at the drainage system at that time, I will find it difficult to believe.
Absolutely.
To believe some of these things. But finding it difficult to believe should be in a positive manner, not in negative. Due to the negativity, I am not able to accept the story that you told. But it should be according to based on the positivity that have taken place and the positive transformation of the society. I find it difficult to believe that, come on, people used to live as remote as you mentioned.
That's it.
Sure.
Viewers, just to remind you that you are watching your show, The Jungle Morning, brought to you by Jungle Radio Podcast, and I am your host, Paus Manfal. And you can see today I have an interesting guest, AMADOU WURRY JALLOW, who is a Banjulian, and we are discussing a lot about Banjul. And I believe this do not just concern Banjulians, but the entire nation. And you can also be part of the program and follow us on all the social media platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just type Jungle Entertainment Universe and you can be part of our programs. Mr. Jallow, another interesting question, because questions of Banjul, we can never finish them. But we at least try and pick a few important things that we can be able to discuss. And I know people will not be able to have enough of you today, but we will try our level best to bring you back on our subsequent morning show programs. The next question is, if you were given the opportunity to change certain things in Banjul, what would they be?
Okay, first, I would say, first of all, I would love to change the face of Banjul. The face of Banjul. Okay. That I have to deal with just from the question that I just came from. That I have to deal with the infrastructure. Some of the infrastructure, not all, because development also is taking place in Banjul, but I would love to change some of the settings that I have to deal with the face itself, and maybe look into areas that have to deal with the social setting itself.
Wow.
The social setting.
Okay.
Yeah, the social setting itself, and maybe also avenues that have to deal with the avenues where discussions, interactions between the society could be enhanced, and some of these things. Because I mean, the more you interact with people, the more you know them. The more you know them, the more you are able to know their problem. And then whenever you come with a solution, it will be from their problem. Absolutely. And sometimes they can be able to tell you, in fact, their own actual problem. So I think when it comes to the social setting, that is the setting itself, that have to deal with the behavioral interaction, that have to deal with the political and all those things, that have to deal with the social setting itself, and then maybe the face of Banjul, which is of course something for me based on the thing that I envisage for Banjul. Banjul should come on. Banjul, with if I have the power and the resources,
change the face.
I wish Banjul could be like how will I call it?
Is it Singapore?
Something like that. Yeah, come on.
I think that was part of Chairman Jammeh's dream, right?
No, but he ended up sinking us in Po. It was not Singapore, but he sink us in Po, yeah.
Well, anyway, that was. I mean, that was really. I mean, interesting. Mr. Jallow, we've seen Banjul last year, the raining season. It was really difficult. Though not just Banjul, but some part of the country as well. But Banjul was also a primary factor. They suffered really. You know, what they had to endure was definitely painful. Some of these victims were unable to, stay in their houses for a couple of weeks. They have to go to the schools. And, it was really difficult. And I hope this season, whenever there is a heavy downpour, are they still experiencing the same thing in some parts of Banjul, the same floods? And because initially you've mentioned that perhaps you believe that there is a little bit of improvement. But I mean, as majority of them, I believe, are still suffering from the same thing. So what is the problem? What do we have to change to make sure that these people, in as much as we are encouraging people to make Banjul a better place, I mean, there must be like a primary factor that we believe that can at least play a role in, bringing people to have that belief that they can stay in Banjul. Because to be honest, I cannot leave my compound in Burusubi or in Sanchaba here, which if it rains, no matter how heavy the rain is, I am still comfortable. And you tell me to go and live in a place whereby whenever it rains, it becomes a problem. You cannot sleep. You'll be thinking about your roof. You'll be thinking about the water is going to take all your things out. It's something else. So what do you think? Where does the problem lies?
Actually, I will say situation was very unfortunate and up to date. I can say I'm living some of the consequences of what happened. And then last year August was one of the worst experience I ever had in Banjul for the 11 years that I have lived there.
Too bad.
So I may say it was unfortunate, and we pray and hope
it won't repeat.
It won't repeat itself
this time around,
because it's very important. Human security is very important.
Absolutely.
And these are some of the things that will make people to come and live within around an area. The human security, that have to deal with their food, their materials, properties, and to be safe, and being in peace, having the confidence that I can close my door, go, somebody will not come and take anything from this place. Some of these things are very basic, but they are very important in encouraging people to live within an area. So I would say last year it was a very interesting situation, because this project that was established about 39 or 40, I don't know exactly the figure of dollars that was invested in making sure that the sewage,
yeah.
drainage, and the road infrastructure of Banjul is being transformed.
Yeah.
And because it was at a very, in a very terrible state at that moment. I will say, however, I don't know how the technicians or the experts were not able to figure out that the outlet of the water was not regulated before they started blocking some part of the road, the ways of the water, or the drainage system. So this was a compact problem. The outlet was not in good condition. Like it was, I don't know, one pumping machine that was there, and you have all those megatons of water piled at the pole that you have to exit. Because I can say the drainage system of Banjul was established around 1947, 47, somewhere around that, when the flood took place in Banjul. That was during the colonial era, and they were able to come up with that drainage system in order to make sure that water would move out of Banjul. So, but you know, as time goes by, and we are also being affected by climate change now. All these things like heavy downpour, like sometimes the rain might not be regular, but it might be heavier than how it usually occurs. So I can say the downpour was there, and the water was not regulated. So the water was not moving out. So, and the drainage system, some were not cleaned properly, and everything was stopped. Now, almost I can say a month. This water is not moving out. It was not as it was. The problem was not only we flooded, but the water is not moving.
It's not moving.
We flooded. The water is not moving out. Like the water was stagnant.
So the only, thing they could have done is to wait for the sun
the outlet
absorb the
water, and you have already concrete the roads. Don't forget that.
That's a major problem.
So how do you expect the water to go? You understand? And the sewage system also was not looked into at that time extensively. So all these things compacted, and it impacted. Or it contributed to how bad the flood was. But I am not yet confident to say that we will not flood. No. I'm not saying that. Based on the rain that we experienced in July, we are getting close to August. At least we haven't get any scenario yet. Okay, and we know in the Gambia, usually the heaviest rains usually occur in August.
Or heading to September.
Very good, heading to September. So I am not confident yet their work is proper. But based on some of the things that we have experienced, I would say we haven't flooded yet. I'm not saying that we are good to go. We haven't flooded yet. That is the only thing I can say.
But I hope and pray that it continues.
Yes, let's hope and pray. Yes, because it was a very bad experience.
Indeed, it was.
It was a very bad experience.
In as much as for us who are living around the combos, when we watch it on TV, we really felt bad. Because we are all Banjulians.
You cannot be sitting and be happy, and our city
exactly. And they are our brothers, sisters, mom, dad. It was really difficult for the entire Gambia. I hope it won't happen this time around.
Sure.
And Mr. Jallow, where I will want us to close today is a little bit, strange, diverse, and in as much as we want Banjul to be institutionalized, in as much as we want people to come and invest in Banjul, we've recently observed that there is a lot of corruption in Banjul, not just on the government sector, but also within some of these, sub-organizations in Banjul. Even some time ago, we've seen there was this guy who every Banjulian, or should I say Gambian, was campaigning against, that they said took the money that was supposed to build certain things in Banjul. I mean, in as much as we are saying some of the things we want in Banjul, we also say we can also talk about some of the things that we believe that can, if it continues, it's going to hinder some of these dreams we have for Banjul. So now, what is the amount of corruption in Banjul, and what is leading towards this corruption?
I believe from the first moment of the program, we are trying to avoid politics as much as we can. So I think it's better that we explicitly also try to explicitly explain about the word, the key word in your question, that is corruption. Corruption is not only about financial transactions,
exactly.
Illegal financial transactions. It have not also only, or it does not only have to deal with between the government and the government.
Exactly,
or,
my point.
And the people, but people between people.
There
are a lot of corruptions. I would say, come on, corruption is not something that is very strange in the Gambia, because I would say this with confidence. That it is, I don't know whether it's only in the Gambia or Gambia and other countries, among other countries, that people think the only way they can make it in life is when they become corrupt. That is either when you come to your dealing, your interaction between you and one person, the lack of sincerity and genuineness in the people, all these are corruptions. And all these are compacted problems that are going to affect the social setting, the development, and also the improvement of, I can say, the society. And I will say, come on, from the way I define it, like Gambia is among the countries, or the only country where people believe the only way they can make it in life is when they become corrupted. I think that is enough for your question.
Anyway, I was expecting more, but I know, I mean, you don't want to be, you want to stay as apolitical as you can, but I mean, still there's something that you can chip in, because the level of corruption in Banjul, I mean, within people and within sub-organizations, is still not being established.
But
that is the actual point I want you to come to, because I know all the existing organizations in Banjul, both government organization and private organizations, and we've seen recently, we are all on the internet, we've seen on most of these news, and we've seen even protesters protesting about some of these corruptions that we have recently started seeing. Before, I mean, there was corruption in Banjul, but it was not as rampant as it is now. And then if you want to invite investors, definitely you need to give them hope that, I mean, corruption is at least, the level of corruption can at least be controlled, if not eradicated totally, but can be controlled.
Okay, if I may take it this way, the excuses people give you is irrelevant in the situation.
No.
The excuses are what? Okay, I have people, I am responsible, I have people that are waiting for me to bring something at home so that they can survive. I agree. But nobody wants to also feed your family. I mean, a genuine person will never want to feed your family from tapalaying people. Yeah?
I love the English, tapalaying people.
Yes. So, you don't want to tapale people and believe that actually I'm doing it right.
I'm doing it right, yeah.
You don't steal people's money and say, yes, I am doing it right. You don't throw trash in the street and say, no, I am doing it right. Because all these things are corruptions. And these are the corruption that is amounting to both the underdevelopment and also the untidiness of the city. And myself sitting here, maybe I might be even a contributing factor.
It could
You understand? And also when it comes to the organizations, the insincerity of the people have to change.
Right.
People find it difficult to put in order the words they say and their actions.
Absolutely.
And it's very important for every person to know that a human being is only valued or devalued in two things.
Yeah.
That is your word and your action. What you utter and how you act is the only way we can be able to value you or devalue you.
Yeah. True.
Now, and these two things must go together.
Yeah.
You must not be able to say this and do that.
Yeah.
And as a people in Banjul, or I can say as a resident, we have a whole lot of corruption going on there. Absolutely. As I tell you, it's not only based on the financial transactions, but even when it comes to the relations between people. The relation between people and people. I'm not saying that people going around betraying other people or scamming people and the like. No. But I mean, these things are happening, and sometimes they're happening at the higher level. Not even at the lower level, but at the higher level. And if it is happening at the higher level, happening at the lower level, then
it became extremely corrupt.
Exactly. So I would say we as Banjul are not actually the center of corruption, but we are part of the corrupt societies of the country. And I'm saying this sincerely. In a sense, I am not trying to insult or assault anybody, but myself included in this matter. Not about only taking money from or briberies. It's not that I'm referring to. I am referring to issues that are supposed to go the way it is supposed to be, and nobody is getting up to take an action to make sure it happens the way it is supposed to be.
Wonderful.
That have to deal with the environmental, that have to deal with the social setting, the upbringing of children, seeing wrong things happening in the area, Sekonyi and at the other side, and nobody is getting up or nobody is want to take an action to put a stop to some of these things. These are the ones that I am relating to. I'm not related to the financial area, which I think maybe in another topic of discussion, because today you said we are not touching anything that have to deal with politics.
Absolutely.
I think this is one of the most difficult interviews I have ever had.
Because I know you are a political somebody. Bringing a politician, especially, a young politician, on a platform and tell him or her that we won't be discussing politics is another thing. Because everything he or she does, they are politically oriented.
Absolutely.
So everything that you do have to do with politics. I know it's more of a punishment to you, but we had a fruitful discussion, and viewers can definitely attest to that. But anyway, Mr. Jallow, it has been a long morning, and I know we are tired. We have talked a lot, but it was really interesting. So what is going to be your concluding remark?
My concluding remark is going to be, first of all, thanking you and Jungle TV for inviting me here, and while hoping and praying that this become a TV that is going to be not only online but also that will be observed analog, whereby everyone can be able to view it.
Absolutely.
And the business itself flourish.
Thank you.
Amen. So, and the other thing is Banjul is so dear to me because of so many things that I can say experience within the city. It does not defeat the fact that I have faced so many upheavals, but I choose to hold on the positive sides that I have experienced, or the positive part that I have, of course, experienced in Banjul, which is what I am holding on to. Given all the, I can say, um, uh, the people that I associate with, my close aides, and I have learned a lot from Banjul, and Banjul have contributed a lot into my life, and that is why I believe at my level that it is going to be very important that I also give back to the society. And I will say, despite there are a lot of things that are happening that we don't want to happen in that way, but we can still grow from the little positive things that are remaining from Banjul, and we can be able to improve our lives, improve our livelihoods, improve the society of Banjul, and be able to love, connect to one another.
Absolutely.
And I believe in a society where love exists, and I mean genuine love, I believe that society will always be able to act in unison. And I believe unity is what gives us power. And when we have power, we can do a lot of things. So I think Banjul, everything that I have mentioned here, I think I am not saying it because actually I am comfortable to sit here today and talk about it. But these are issues that I believe we can be able to solve together. And I'm more than willing in order to not only talk about it, but take an action to addressing some of those issues. And the great things that I have talked about in Banjul, please, let's save it, preserve it, in order for the younger generation to also experience the beauties and some of the unique things that are found in the city that makes us that community that have been, being that jealousy is there, and having that pride to say we started this and we built this.